Welcome to your week 1 summary and week 2 overview video. Now all of the material for week 1, if we go to the week 1 drop down menu, is all available here on Learning Space. So each session title has the PowerPoint resource, the session recording that you can watch back if you want to watch it back, or if you've missed the session, then you can watch it, in addition to any other resources, and then the feedback that we've been asking you to provide and you've been providing us throughout this module at the bottom of each session. So for every single session, you will find all of those things. So as you see, the videos from today's session are also on there. Now the tasks that you need to make sure you've completed are the gap analysis, which you can download here. And once you've completed it, submit it into this submission resource here. Once you've done that, I will check over the weekend and provide you with some feedback or chase anyone who's not submitted it. Now you would then update that across weeks 2, 3 and 4 and submit it into your EduBlog assessment eventually. But this is a chance for us all now to see how you're rating your skills and reflecting on your current study skills. Now if we scroll back up and minimize week 1, now we can have a look at week 2. Now the resources for week 2 are going to be uploaded this weekend, so we're going to start to build this. So at the moment it looks quite empty, but what you can see are your session topics. So if we go to the week 2 schedule, this is what we're going to cover in week 2. So we've had a look at the foundation and participation stage through your tasks and then your face-to-face sessions. We're going to consolidate that by looking at the role of a coach in those 2 stages. And then as we move through the week, we're going to look at the performance stage and then the elite stage. Now, in addition to that, some of the work that you're going to do with TASH in terms of your multi-skills qualification, you're going to focus on coaching styles and you're going to focus on movement skills. You're also going to have a session with Tom here, myself and Tom, on Tuesday, face-to-face, where we look a little bit more at research, but predominantly around your referencing skills and referencing the APA system correctly, which is something you will have to do for your presentation and your EduBlog assessment and throughout the rest of your degree. Now, if we minimize week 2 for a minute and then we open up assessment information, you will see here we've got the assignment briefs for both the EduBlog and the presentation task. There is more guidance around this, which was set in the module introduction video. So please go back and watch that if you have any questions or you're not clear, or if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it because it should clarify some of the issues you might have around the assessment. But if you open these assignment briefs, you will see the brief telling you what to do, the deadline, and then the marking framework on page 2, which gives you some indication as to the percentage of weighting of the things that we're looking at in terms of when we mark, and also the kind of description around what we're looking at when we mark. So obviously in this case, we're heavily weighted here at the bottom in transferable skills. The same for the presentation task. Now in terms of the EduBlog, there is this resource here, setting up an EduBlog for your assessment. Now, when you open this up, you should see this table of contents. If that's not there, it's normally at the bottom, and if it's not there, then you can click next to navigate through the different sections of this resource. So you'll be able to set up an EduBlog. Now on the second page, in terms of setting up, there's some guidance here for you to read. Please don't go through this quickly. It's really important you work through this slowly. You will then be able to click Marge on EduBlog's homepage, and that will take you to the main EduBlog website. Now I'm already signed in, so you will have to log in here with your Marge on credentials, and then you'll be able to click on My Site and navigate your way through to create your own site as it shows here. You will need to make sure you assign yourself to the correct class, and that message of how to do that should be in the chat that's going to that will be posted on Microsoft Teams for you with this video. Now there's a few other things to do in your EduBlog. For example, you need to write a short reflection on your wider study skills, including things like your note taking. So if we go back to the main Learning Space page, there is an additional resource here on effective note taking, which you might want to look at. So an introduction for you to read, and then various different ways that you could take notes and some guidance around that, which you can then use to reflect on your current note taking skills. There is also a video here, a short video to watch on how you can build an effective presentation. So what I would suggest you do as a huddle group is watch that presentation before you start designing your PowerPoint in terms of how it looks and how you might structure it. Now, the final thing for us to go through is as you start to work closer to your assessment, you may start to have more questions and you may start to ask us for more support in addition to your timetable sessions. Now, if it's a quick message, then please go onto Microsoft Teams and use the chat function and message one of us in terms of your question or your query. However, if it requires a little bit more time and maybe a conversation, the best way for us to do that is for you to go to this tutorial support here in the top right corner of your Learning Space page, click on the teacher's name. So if you click on mine, it will come up with some bookings. So you can go through and go, okay, so we want to book a time for this date, and then you can put in your name and your email, and there's some optional questions there, and you can book. That will book the meeting for us, so we can have a video call on Microsoft Teams just by you clicking on and booking through any of these sessions. Now, if these times don't work for you and your need is either more urgent or it just doesn't work and you need more flexibility, then please drop us a message on Microsoft Teams in the chat, and I'm sure we can find something that fits you better. But these are pre-designed booking slots for you. Thank you for your hard work so far this week. We're really looking forward to supporting you through next week. If you have any feedback for us or if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to touch base with us and ask us anything that you need to.